I don't even know where we fucking are right now.
How do you say it again?
This
Clemson.
is You're putting a P in the word. I don't understand what's happening.
Clemson.
He's going Clemson.
No.
Clemson.
No.
We're still going.
Wow, this is wild.
Welcome to Peacemaker, the official podcast with James Gunn. I happen to be James Gunn, the writer, director, showrunner of the Peacemaker television show, but I am joined by my co-host,
Steve Agee, who plays John Economos.
And I'm Jen Holland. I play Amelia Harcourt.
All right. This is the official destination to go deeper into each and every episode of Peacemaker, the HBO Max original series. You can go behind the scenes. We're going to tell you stories from sets. We're going to tell you all the secrets, the things you want to know, the things you don't want to know, the things that'll make it more magical than ever and less magic than ever before. We're going to answer fans' questions, talk about the music, and so much more.
And today we are diving into Season 1, Episode 6, Murn After Reading.
Who came up with that great title, by the way?
Yours truly. That's right, I did. And it was directed by James Gunn. Today, the handsome gentleman I'm speaking to has joined us all the way from New York City. This is Chukwudi Iwuji, who plays, and I'm not even going to say it. I'm not even going to attempt it.
I think you're
That's
called
right.
Clemson Murn like one time in the whole, I mean, it's like, it's really, your name is Murn. We think of you as Murn.
Seen is the one that says it.
Yeah.
Clemson Murn?
Yeah, Clemson.
I've heard about you.
That's right. And he says it funny.
He says it the funny way. Clemson.
Name's Murn.
Clemson Murn?
That's right.
Oh, I have something to say, which is we will talk about spoilers. So if you haven't watched this, go to HBO Max and do so right now.
I miss you guys on the madness.
I know, we miss Chuck. I mean, the worst thing by far about doing Season 2 of Peacemaker is no Chuck.
Oh.
And we often talked about it. We missed you.
God damn it, Peacemaker.
This is my favorite episode, I think, from
great.
the first season.
It's absolutely my favorite episode.
I do love the 8th episode of season finale, but for just a basic episode, I just think there's so much in this episode that I love. And one of the things I really love is the opening scene with you, Chuck, Jen Harcourt, and Leota Adebayo, Danielle Brooks, where Danielle has just discovered that Clemson Murn is a butterfly.
I inhabited the worst person I could find. This man, Leota, he's a murderer.
The thing that's so amazing about it to me is you are playing in a way that I don't know how it's humanly possible. All of these layers of a butterfly who has his own thoughts and feelings, but has taken over the body and the brain of a really bad human being, but still has compassion for that human being and saw that human being's capacity to change. And that plays out in this amazing discussion that you have with Leota. The question is, what were you feeling during your amazing acting in this sequence? Which is honestly probably the best acting on the whole first season.
Oh my God. Thank you.
Look, I really genuinely, this is not to false humility or anything like that, but I genuinely believe you're only as good as an actor with what you have on the page. You know, Jack Palance once said, it's not the actor, it's the role, you know? So on that page was this whole journey of,
Then how do you explain Steve Agee?
I don't know.
I'm sorry, what are you talking about? I'm still saying Clemson.
So for me on the page was just this thing of talking. It started one way where he's defending himself. Then I realized it sort of sneaks up on you. Oh my God, you're talking about him now. You're talking about Clemson now.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It starts with, I'm talking about what I'm doing. Then somehow in the middle of it is like, oh, you're talking about him. And now you're talking about him to her? And now are you talking about him to her or to yourself? You know, those are all the questions that were there in it. And I just did it with those questions. Because on the page, his point of focus and he was talking to, who he was talking to about, and who he was apologizing to also changes big. 1 minute he's apologizing to Leota. Yeah, I know I did these things. And the next one is apologizing to the real Clemson man. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I feel that
Yeah.
it was in the writing, and it was that journey of being true to all of them. And also, by the time we came to filming it, I remember, I came in one day, I wasn't filming really, and you were working on that scene with John Cena where he has to take the shot. Is that episode 1? Take the shot of Goff.
Episode 3.
Episode 3, yeah. There was a real close-up. And I remember you just saying to him, just think it, John. I remember you just saying, just think it. And John, I remember John, I was watching it on the monitor, John blinked and he just stopped doing everything and just started thinking of taking the shot. You got it. You got the shot.
It's
yeah,
it's funny that you bring that up because I remember that moment really well.
When it's just dropped.
He was trying to act it, and it was too much. And I'm like, just think it, because we're so close on you. We'll see the thought, And that's honestly, that's the difference between a good film actor innately and somebody who's going to have a harder time as a film actor.
Yeah.
Is, can we see the thought run across your face like that when you think?
Yeah.
It's a weird thing. It's almost like a kind of psychic ability.
Yeah. And the mistake people think that it's not just do less, you're actually doing more. You're being very specific in your thinking. And I remember you giving that note, and I remember when we got to shooting this episode 6 about Clem, I had a very strong image of me killing me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I don't know if you noticed screen and watching it, I was glad it was there. There's just a minute where I'm talking to her and I just sort of stop and my eye just goes there.
I know.
And that's
Yeah,
when
you're down. Your eyes
and
down.
that's when I just saw him, and that's all.
Oh, it's so
the rest
sad.
of it needed to be. Do you know what I mean?
I took his freedom and his face, and every day I dread waking up to his memories.
It was a gift because it was on the page. It was a gift on the page.
Yeah, and there's humor in the scene, and it's just really a wonderful scene. And then we find out about the cow. We hear about the cow for the first time. What's the cow? We don't know.
That cut is so cool.
And then
when she says you don't know about the cow,
well,
and we
you don't know
start
about
to
the cow,
explain,
and
you
then
didn't tell
you
her about
say,
the cow.
"There's and we cut to the song.
It's just
Yeah,
so
it's
funny.
great. Then we go to another really wonderful scene, and one of the reasons I probably like the episode is it's a lot of wonderful scenes in this is Peacemaker's classroom visit with the kids.
God.
His innate bully coming out again and just instantly giving each one of these kids a name based on their physical attributes, whether it's kid with the sad eyes, gender-swapped Alfred E. Newman, Canadian tuxedo, Urkel, Chubster, and my favorite Rubik's Cube champion 2025 or whatever. But that kid is my favorite too because he's the funniest kid. The kid that says, "I can see right through you and you're a loser." That kid was not an actor. He was an extra. And I gave him that dialogue. I said, "Go up and say this to him." And that kid just did it. And of course, we credit him. He nailed it. And then there's the little girl that says, "Did you know my mom?" And he says, "Oh, yeah, Becky Coolidge. I know her. I haven't seen her for about 10 years. And she says, "Because I think you may be my real dad." And when I first started working on the Peacemaker show, I wrote the outline of an episode where Peacemaker goes into a town that he had been in, and he runs into a kid that says she's his kid. And so he spends the episode, trying to be a dad to her. And then all of a sudden, another kid is like, "You're my dad too," and another kid. And he has all these kids, and then he leaves at the end of the episode.
I think you might be my real dad.
What? That little girl was hilarious on set. She was such a dynamo, and they were so funny, and those kids were great, and it was just fun. I don't know. Do you think it's his real daughter or not? Or is she just bragging?
I don't know. I think that's up to you when we jump into the What's Canon section, but I would not be surprised to find out that he has
Parents wouldn't be doing that to
illegitimate-
brag. A woman wouldn't be bragging about
I would not be
Peacemaker.
surprised.
I
He's
think
got
in a
couple
small
of-
town
Oh,
where you're
really?
like, well, yeah, he's kind of a well-known guy. I mean,
I think he's been a little irresponsible in his life, and he's probably got
sure.
at least one illegitimate child.
Oh
out
yeah,
there.
but is she it? I don't know.
I don't know.
So here's a little bit of trivia. What's the word of the day on the chalkboard in the kids' classroom?
Do not know.
Moistly.
It is. It's
Moistly.
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 A word.
Moistly.
Is it
Word
an
of the
actual
day.
word? I would have thought it would be moistily.
Moistly.
Moistly.
It's a word I've never used.
you're
I can-
adding
No,
it.
I'm sure very
I
few people.
moistly what? What did I do moistly? What did you do?
The aliens moistily come out at night. Moistily.
I love how you undercut when they ask him if he has an origin story. You remember when the child goes, "Do you have an origin story?" And we just see it in John's face
Yeah.
of that tragedy.
Yeah.
And again, undercutting the humor and just misdirecting us constantly
Yeah.
through
I
the scene. But that moment was just gorgeous.
Exactly what you're talking about, even though I'm jumping off the subject slightly, is exactly why it's really, really a complicated show to get other directors to come in and do episodes on.
That's
Because
right.
it has a really specific to James type of tightrope walk.
And misdirection and stuff.
I don't think it's specific to me. I think it's specific to me as far as Western directors go.
Yeah.
But when it comes to Asian filmmaking, it's more normal. You know, it's more normal to be able to go from something that's humorous to something, you know, the tonal shifts. But Peacemaker, the show, does embrace it. It's something I've had to be a little bit more careful with in movies, but Peacemaker just kind of goes for the tonal shifts. And that's actually one of the biggest in the whole season, going from the laughter of the kids directly to seeing Peacemaker's dying brother in the dirt. And that plays in later to the episode.
And his father says right there, "You killed him." And
Yeah,
we're going
is
to
that what he
see
says?
more. Yeah, that's what he says.
Yeah.
Daddy knows a superhero. And this superhero, before he left the hospital, he promised he'd always be there for me, no matter what I needed.
I never said anything like that.
Jamil comes back for a second episode, Rizwan, and he's happy because Peacemaker did what he wanted him to do, which is to make the other kids feel like shit.
So funny.
We see Agee released from jail, and he mocks Detective Song with a racist insult.
See you soon, bitch. Or as they say in your language, ching chong, chickadee chopsticks.
And then she says, "No, that means a donkey took a shit on your head," or something like that. And she kind of has the one-up, and then Fitzgibbon follows up with,
Wouldn't want to be ya? Are you fucking kidding me? I pretty much nailed him there. Not sure you needed to add
I
the...
know I fucked it up.
That's a little moment there between Song and Fitzgibbon that we just like them so much.
Yeah.
We're setting up the audience for the rest of the episode, and he can't do a fist bump, properly. And it's a nice little moment considering what's about to happen. Go to Peacemaker's trailer. Peacemaker is feeding Eagly and giving the butterfly Goff the amber goo. This is the episode where he calls Goff a goofus. Which is funny to me. He's like, "You goofus." And we go, he's got a funny relationship with this butterfly that was trying to kill him, but now he's got a tenderness towards. And, we go back to the HQ. Not only does Amelia Harcourt and then Leota know that Murn is a butterfly, John Economos has also figured it out, but refuses to acknowledge it, won't allow anyone to see him hearing it. He literally plugs his fingers in his ears.
La 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 la, no, I don't know what you're talking about. I can't hear a thing.
The police, Detectives Song and Fitzgibbon and their crew, mobilized to go arrest Peacemaker. And then we have another one of my favorite scenes, the scene between Vigilante and Peacemaker, where they decide to interview Goff.
Goff has taken the amber goo that was poured in his canister earlier, and he's drawn a peace sign on the jar, and they're like,
"What the heck?"
It's trying to communicate with us, obviously.
Yeah. Yes, right. Yeah.
So they're like, I guess we should try to communicate back and see what it's trying to say here.
Yeah. And Peacemaker comes up with just a very simple system of, one tap for yes, two taps for no, and starts to ask him questions. And then Vigilante just gets completely off course and is asking him about what his favorite color is. And is it teal?
and
Non-yes or no.
not asking yes or no questions.
Not asking
It's
yes
very
or no
frustrating.
questions. And Peacemaker gets more and more upset until he's literally just screaming in Vigilante's face.
Oh, I love this scene so much.
So funny.
Why did you put a peace sign on the jar?
Yes or no? It's yes or no. It's only fucking yes or no question.
That's a lot of rules.
2 fucking rules. 2. 1 yes or no. 2, don't be a fucking moron.
How am I supposed to follow that second rule?
Maybe by shutting the fuck up.
And then Vigilante's like, I feel like you're angry at me right now. And then
you're angry with
he
me.
just, Peacemaker just screams.
Okay.
It's so funny.
I
Oh,
love
man.
that moment. The cops burst in, Peacemaker and Vigilante and Eagly. And Vigilante is always a unique fellow, decides the way to keep, so he doesn't have to hold on to golf, is he duct tapes the jar with golf into his body, which is a strange but kind of logical choice, I guess.
So his hands will be free, yeah.
Makes sense.
And they climb up into the trees. They try to escape. They're jumping around. And that's when Vigilante falls, the jar breaks, and Goff flies up and into Detective Sophie Song's mouth. Annie's amazing in this moment where she, dies, basically, and writhing on the ground.
Is that the first time we actually see the process,
of how they do it?
how they take over a body?
It is.
It's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
It's kind of jarring.
It is. It's jarring.
And very bloody. It's like brutal. It's
Yeah,
like,
it's
and you
brutal.
just suddenly think of something burrowing into your.
It's
Well,
really
I think
burning your
that's what
brain,
they're doing. They're burrowing through the back of your throat, and then they have to burrow up through your nasal passages, I guess, into your brain.
Ugh.
It's wild.
And then they drive you around like a little skin car.
Yep.
Skin car.
Pacific Rim.
Pacific Rim.
Pacific Rim your ass.
You turn into a kaiju for these little aliens.
Yeah. Yeah. And Peacemaker, Vigilante run off. We get to see, for the first time, Eagly truly in control of a situation where he just starts taking down one cop after the next.
So satisfying.
Yeah, it's really the first time you see sort of that he is truly Peacemaker's sidekick.
Oh, yeah, Eagly kicks ass.
Yeah.
He is not. He's very, very tough. Fitzgibbon comes up to Detective Song, holds her in his arms.
Where are Peacemaker and the buffoon?
Well, you need to sit still until we get an ambulance here. So,
She comes back to life, and there's something different about her. He thinks he's worried. He thinks they should go get it checked out, but she just is marching off. Meanwhile, Vigilante and Peacemaker are in the woods. They're surrounded by cops. We think they're about to die when a gunshot blows a cop away, and it is the sort of creepy Captain Locke who has come, offers them a car and a chance at freedom. But we have a moment where they're running away, and Peacemaker is looking back, and he sees Locke brutally killing one cop as she begs for mercy, and then kills another cop who's unconscious, and he's incredibly disturbed by it. Vigilante and Peacemaker get into the car. Peacemaker is very upset about what happened, and Vigilante thinks this is part of his New Age belief where all life is sacred. Vigilante throws his phone out of the car even though it's secure.
Untraceable.
Untraceable.
Well, to be fair, Vigilante doesn't know it's untraceable.
No,
he's
that's
trying
true.
to do him a solid.
Song, we'll call Goff now, I guess. Goff goes off with Fitzgibbon, and they run into Locke, who is around the dead bodies, and Locke gives them some bullshit explanation about what happened, and he blames the murders on someone who sounds, very specifically as if he is a Hamburglar, including down to saying "robble robble."
Caucasian man, about 5.5 feet tall, red hair, striped shirt with a red tie.
Christopher, who plays Locke, man, he's he's special.
The funny part to me is the way he says fedora.
Fedora.
Fedora. it's like a completely inappropriate time for a graceful move. Your fellow officers have just been brutally murdered, and you're like, fedora.
Running your fingers along the brim.
That was definitely not scripted. That was just like what he did, and I'm like, oh my God, this cat is the best. We laughed so hard. There's also, I think it's this episode, the post-credits scene happens.
Yeah.
There.
Yes.
He practices his crying before the other cops return. And it's just so
He's like
creepy.
smacking himself in the face. He's like laughing. It's just a perfect example of like how someone can just add so much without, necessarily adding lines or whatever. Like he just adds this extra.
He's very elastic also,
Yeah.
how he
He
uses
is.
it.
Yeah.
Sad. Look sad. Look sad. You fucking ass. Come on. Does this look sad?
Peacemaker makes his way back to the HQ, to Henenlatter's, and they have sort of a little bit of a conflict over the word Asian and Oriental, and he doesn't know what words to say or what words not to say. Adebayo makes the good point that kind of in the overall scheme of things, who gives a shit? And then Murn and Peacemaker come at each other.
Don't you talk to me after you sent Pennywise the fucking clown out to help us. Lock? That psychopath murdered 3 cops and 1 was unconscious when he did it.
And Murn is obviously disturbed by that.
That was a beautiful moment by John, actually. The way he comes out, because he's
Yeah.
it's like it really felt like we were about to see the no-nonsense Peacemaker. Does that mean in that moment he was?
Yeah.
So it's just a really short moment of coming right at Murn that I thought, wow, that was strong.
And I think we're starting to see how he's changed from the character we saw in the Suicide Squad from the beginning of the season into somebody who is just over killing people, which we find out in a second even more about. At the police station, Song/Golf hacks the system. Fitzgibbon comes in, he's asking her a bunch of questions, and there's a really nice moment between Annie and Lochlan here where Goff stops herself and she turns to him and she says,
I do feel that she was fond of you, but in the end, this is better for everyone.
and Lochlan, Fitzgibbon is just confused. But it's a real nice moment, and it is very much in line with what you did earlier, where it's the animal butterfly reading the thoughts of the person they've inhabited.
Yeah.
And Goff, who was in kind of this piece of shit politician, who was probably a piece of shit to begin with, is now in the body and brain of this sort of wonderful person. And Goff is changing because of it. She's now more tender. And she is a she. Economos cracks the case. He figures out where the butterfly food source is coming from. The amber fluid is coming from a Coverdale ranch, named after the great David Coverdale of Whitesnake. And they decide that they need to go and check it out.
We have reason to believe that the butterflies have a cow.
A cow?
A large animal that they milk for ambergoo, and there's only one on the planet. And without it, they'll die.
And then we have one of the best montages, if not the best montage of the season, which is the monster montage.
That might be the best one, yeah.
It is Sophie's song, i.e. Goff, i.e. Icknob.
Ick, stack, ick,
Ick. And she sees a swarm of spaceships come down, and they go about taking over everyone. We really are taking over all of our smaller characters at one time, and some of our bigger characters. So Locke and Fitzgibbon, who are pretty sizable characters, both taken over by butterflies. Just everyone we know in both the police station and the jail, they're all taken over.
That moment when it's slow motion and Lochlan's character Fitzgibbon's running away and he turns back and he gets overtaken by the butterfly. Oh, it got me. Like, I really care about his character.
Yeah.
And
I know. We like Fitzgibbon and Song.
Yeah.
And, you know, they're kind of antagonists, really, because they're the ones that are after, you know, Peacemaker and after the truth, which is going to hurt our protagonist. But we like them, and they're funny. And their relationship is cool. You asked me earlier, you're like, you think
was he? I wondered if he was like secretly in love with her or something, like romantically.
But I don't think he is. I think that He has a family at home, and I think he loves his family. I think they just really like each other, and they're good friends. And so we like them, and so it's sad to see them both be turned into butterflies.
A smile.
And then the smile at the end, where we learn earlier that it's difficult to smile on a human head, and then we see the group of them smiling together.
Oh,
and
it's
they're
creepy.
not
The most
great.
awkward way.
Yeah.
Not great at smiling.
Yeah. I
So
love
good.
that. That
Such a cool
sort of
book.
slow walk with all of them with their like weird,
Trying.
just
Yeah.
Freaky smiles.
they're trying real hard.
Intercut with that, we get to see the White Dragon getting on his outfit for the first time. The White Dragon is a character from the comics, but he is not Peacemaker's dad in the comics. And then we cut directly to another very drastic tonal shift, and we have Adebayo and Kia laying on the couch together, and Kia's comforting her wife, and Adebayo is talking about getting out of the game, and she says, again, for the third or fourth time, that she isn't made for this shit, that this is not where she belongs, and they're about to get out.
A really nice little scene between the two of them.
A nice scene between the two of them, but then that leads into one of my other favorite scenes in the show. It's so funny because this episode is, I mean, it's big because a lot of things happen, but also it doesn't
Intimate.
move the plot forward as much as, I mean, it does. It's just all human stuff. Peacemaker walks in, and Harcourt is engraving a dove of peace on his gun.
Yeah.
She gives it to him. He reacts instantly by criticizing it, but realizes what he did. She says, "Okay." She walks off, and
She really gave him shit in an earlier episode about not being able to kill someone without a dove of peace on the weapon.
Yeah.
So I feel like, again, it's like these silly little things that you so beautifully use to show the change in the characters, and she's given in, and she's accepting him and accepting his quirks, and she's done something that's really nice for him.
It's a very sweet
Yeah,
thing
it's
for her
nice.
to do. But as she walks away, he unloads on her, and is something that I think we've all seen in the series. But he admits out loud for the first time that it isn't the dove of peace at all. It's the fact that he just doesn't want to kill people anymore. She says, "Not sure this is time to be going all Mahatma on us." He says he's fine killing bugs. And then there's the moment that I really like where she tells him that she doesn't think he's a total piece of shit, just mostly a piece of shit. But she says
just
it in
85%.
in a sweet way. She says goodbye, Chris, walks off. He says goodbye. He doesn't know what to say. Now, if you
Because, back in the first episode, he asks what her first name is, and she says, "How about I call you Peacemaker and you call me Harcourt?" And she's like, "Let's not get any deeper than that. I'm not interested, okay?" And she tries to shut him down. And so, yeah, if you're as connected to the character as I am, it's such a special moment
It
when
is.
she decides to tell.
She stops. She looks back over his shoulder as he stumbles, not knowing what to say, and she says, "Amelia." That's the first time we hear Harcourt's first name ever in either the movie or the TV show.
Very nicely captured, by the way. There's nothing like a cool angle. That's a great angle. That's sort of over the shoulder.
Over the shoulder,
Especially if
yeah.
you have a decent neck. Like I have a short neck, so when I do it, I just look like blubber, like that. But if you actually have a cool neck, it's a cool shot. But it's not a shot I'd ever want to do.
You know what?
Just 'cause-
I don't have a great neck either, but I have longer hair than you, so it just gets,
You hit it, you know,
I can
yeah.
hide it more easily.
Yeah, it's funny how that medium. It's. I remember a director years ago once telling me a note that was just completely random, and it just says, "Chuck, when you say that line, can you just look over your right shoulder?" And there was no logical reason, but it's such a visual thing that you guys see that I don't think of as an actor. So he just knew that just looking over the shoulder there before he said will be the shot. It made it into the trailer. It was a great shot, but it made no logical sense to me. But that was one of those things where doing that angle like that just hearing Amelia come out of your mouth at that angle just really popped. You know what I mean?
I don't want to take credit for it, but I'm going to take credit for it because actually we shot the scene and it was really nice. Like it was all really nice. And James looked at me and said something that he often says to actors after he feels like he's gotten what he needs for the most part. He says, you know, do you want to do one more for you? Is there anything you want to do? And I was like, yeah, I was thinking maybe I could just do one where I just look back over my shoulder and say it. You know, I don't turn all the way back around to him. And you're like, yeah, let's try it. And then you were like, that's it. I think you got one more after that to make sure you had.
I think that there's a reason. I mean, I think there's a reason it's like that. She's not totally willing to turn towards him and say it. She's not certain. And so that gives you that little bit of vulnerability, coyness, uncertainty, not full commitment,
Just going to give you a little bit.
Present. Present. And it really works for that reason. And that sends him into a moment that a lot of people talk about from the show, which is where Peacemaker goes. He sits down at the piano that Economos pointed out is not exactly important for Black Ops. Conducive
Black Ops.
Black Ops in the first episode. That's really John playing the piano. I wrote the scene because of John. I have a moment on the set of The Suicide Squad where I was in Panama City and I had a dog who was about to turn 17 years old. His name was Dr. Wesley Von Spears. We called him Wesley. And Wesley was my best buddy for all those years. And I loved him more than anything in the world. When I was in Panama, he started to have problems. Jen was originally with me in Panama. She flew back. She was with the dog at home.
He wasn't eating very well, and so I flew back and I let James know that it seemed different. It seemed like it was getting worse.
And I was grief-stricken, and Jen called and said he's probably not going to make it another 24 hours. So we were supposed to shoot the next day. And I said, I have to be with my dog to the producers and the studio, and they very kindly, along with all the cast and people like John who had moved his schedule around, and everyone was supportive and understood that I had to fly home.
There were no flights. Like you just could not get out.
There was no private planes to get, and it was like really scary. And I went, and I was with Steve, and Margot and a couple of other people were there, and we went and we sat down in that hotel bar.
Yeah.
And while I'm sitting there, John went up and got up in there was a little piano in the bar in
atrium. Like it was in this
the hotel
big,
lobby.
Amazing acoustics, this big white piano in the atrium.
And he got up, and as I'm sitting there in the melancholy and the fear, the melancholy of about to lose my dog and the fear of perhaps not getting home to being with my dog, he played Is She Weird by the Pixies. And it was beautiful. And it was soul-soothing. And it meant a lot to me. And it meant a lot to me that all those people were so supportive of me going home to be with my dog. And so, I mean, to make... that's not the story. The story is what I just told you. But so people know, I made it onto a plane. I made it home. Wesley died in my arms. And then I flew back the next day immediately. When I came home, I flew to shoot.
Like 100%. You got to go move on with the story about the show, but kudos to the entire team at DC for allowing you to shut down production, which is very expensive when you, especially when you're in Panama and you are, you have all the crew is there and you've flown everybody out there and everything. Yeah. It's very expensive to shut down for that period of time, but they sort of did it without hesitation and allowed you to go back and be with your best friend before he passed away. It was pretty amazing.
Yeah. He was the best dog in the world. He was the best dog that ever. I got a really shitty version of Wesley. Ozu is like
monster.
Ozu is like, he's like, you know, the photocopy of a photocopy of Ozu, but on crack.
It's like in multiplicity when
he's
each one is worse than
he's
the
that
other.
dumb multiplicity version of Wesley. Anyway, that kind of made it into my heart, that moment with John. And so I wanted to build that into the show. And that's what this moment is. And you can't really fully enjoy the end of episode 6 without seeing the beginning of episode 7. So I'm going to save some of that for those people out there who've just only seen episode 6. But we obviously can see that there's something going on with Peacemaker that's very deep, and he's playing Motley Crue's Home Sweet Home on piano. Again, that's really John playing. It was a beautiful moment. It was fun to shoot. And his performance, his acting performance in the scene is wonderful. And he really communicates the fact that there's something deeper going on. But for me, also, this is about seeing Peacemaker as an artist who has been destroyed by his father and turned into a killer. And that's not what he is. The fact that he's able to play so beautifully with probably no support whatsoever on that front is a really sad testament to who he is. And the music that he likes, the glam metal, the pop metal, the hair metal music that he loves so much is who he is. It's a free expression of himself as a complicated man, as a sexually different man, as a really different kind of guy, and that's how he expresses himself through that music. That music is truly who he is. And the fucking Peacemaker shit is kind of who his dad wants him to be. Mm-hmm. And I think that is part of where we're getting with that scene. And we'll talk more about that at the beginning of the next podcast. We get out of that, and we go to realize that everybody's been taken over by butterflies. Captain Locke has called a press conference, and the Peacemaker is wanted for multiple murders because, as I left out earlier, this important part of the story is that they got the fake diary that Adebayo had planted there out of his trailer that sets him up for the murders of all of the butterflies. And that's where we end. So Lita Ford's Kiss Me Deadly.
Such a great episode. I love this episode so much. It's like really where you see the show just allows itself to be what it truly is, if that makes sense. Like it's not always trying to be funny. It's not. It's like you allow the characters and the relationships to drive the show as much as the plot does, and it's really cool.
Well, at that point, we're sort of like, kind of as audience members, I believe, like really grateful to just sit with these characters because they've driven us along. Mm-hmm. They've made us care about them. And suddenly you have an episode that says, okay, it does move along, but it's not really about plot heavy. It's about exposure heavy. And we're grateful for it because we like them enough. We've been enough. Do you know what I mean? There's enough that and you've earned it. In a weird way, you've sort of earned that, you know? Yeah. Like we've seen the friction with you and him throughout where we just like, oh, thank you for that gentle moment between the two of you. Thank you for letting me know what your name actually was, you know? I don't want to jump ahead, but, you have that amazing moment in 108 before, where we go, oh my God, tell me about a character that's completely earned the right to just like say, I know there's something we have to get to, but I'll just take a moment to show this. That bit made me cry so hard, like when I saw that. That's why I loved 108. I was like, can't believe I'm crying in this freaking show.
And now, Peace Thoughts. Hello, it's me, John Cena. I play Chris Smith, a.k.a. Peacemaker. I'm going to be dropping by the podcast in a segment I like to call Cena's Peace Thoughts, where I'll be sharing my favorite moments throughout the series. Season 1, Eagly is a fucking boss. And what I love about Eagly is, one, very cool superhero character. Can have such a stoic personality, can be a little bit of a troublemaker, but I also think it says a lot about Chris, his inability to connect with anyone. And that's Peacemaker's best friend. Eagly is his best friend, someone without a true human condition. And Eagly does give him a lot of things that true friendship has. And when Ads sees Eagly behave in a human manner, it is emotionally touching. And it's those moments that make Eagly a superstar. Like, not what he can do, it's how he interacts with people. And you have this wonderful, beautiful bald eagle who's full of personality and life, but at the core of it, that's Chris's best friend. He still has yet to connect with a human being. This has been Cena's Peace Thoughts. Now back to James, Jen, and who? Steve. I know you as John, because that's my name, and I rarely forget my own name, although I do on occasion. Those are stories I can't tell anyone but you, Steve John. Back to James, Jen, and John, Steve. No, these are Cena's Peace Thoughts. Who am I? We now return to our regularly scheduled program.
So we have Song Spotlight, and there's so many good songs. This one, I want to give a shout out to New Thing by Enough's Enough. Fantastic band, fantastic album. They kind of got caught in this weird time when hair metal was on the downswing, and they're kind of hair metal, but they're kind of power pop, and they have a lot of great stuff. And I love those guys. And of course, we got the version of Home Sweet Home, the Motley Crue song that was arranged for John by John Murphy, the great composer of Superman and Suicide Squad and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. And then we have, I think, the one which we have to give the song spotlight to, which is Monster by Reckless Love. It's off their 2016 album Invader. They're a Finnish rock band. Once again, another Finnish rock band.
Way to go.
It's a song about, I think it's about plastic surgery or a stripper or something.
Well,
if you
yeah.
listen to it, it's about, a woman who's done so much to her face and body that she's like a monster, but he likes her. It has nothing to do with what we're doing in the song, but it's a great song. It's gotten tens of millions of hits now on Spotify. People can always go and listen to the official Peacemaker soundtrack on my Spotify, James Gunn, and in other places as well. So,
All right, so let's get to what is and isn't canon. I mean, I think this is obvious, but Wonder Woman and Flash are mentioned in here by the kids.
yeah, are they canon? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I mean, they'll exist eventually. Whether they exist now, I don't know.
Porky's, the movie Porky's.
Porky's is canon.
Porky's 2?
Porky's 2 is not canon.
Why?
It's far inferior to Porky's. Porky's 1,
True.
okay, let me be honest for a second. Great movie, Porky's 1. Classic Bob Clark film. You know, he directed Porky's, he directed Black Christmas, he directed Christmas Story 3, very different movies. All of them are very successful. Porky's is a grounded, naturalistic. The acting in it's good.
It was huge.
Huge when we were kids.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Massive
I've
hit.
snuck into the theater to see it
Same.
multiple times.
Yes.
I was too young. I loved it. So anyway, they're both.
Canon, does Cena have an illegitimate daughter?
Well, we don't know.
Yeah.
Because we don't know if she's telling Becky Coolidge is full of shit or not.
You wrote it though. What did you think when you were writing it?
I thought it was probably his daughter.
Well, before we hop into Eagly's Airmail bag, we do have a video from Fitzgibbons himself, Mr. Lochlan Munroe.
It's a Gibbon.
No,
Fitzgibbon.
Yeah, where's the S from?
Oh, fuck. Clemson. I took it from the fucking Clemson. I meant it's
Clemson.
It's Fitzgibbon's video.
Hey everyone, it's Lochlan Munroe here. I had the pleasure of playing Detective Fitzgibbon. It was an absolute blast. Bringing James's words to life, working with Annie Chang, who played Detective Song. She had such good comedic timing and such honest sensibility to her character that she knocked it out of the park, and just a wonderful scene partner to work with. What can I say about James? Man, unique style, unique taste. That man is the captain of the ship every day you walk on set. So it was one of the best experiences I've ever had in my career, and I really, really loved bringing Detective Fitzgibbon to life. I hope you guys enjoy.
He's a fun guy to be around. He's very enthusiastic.
He's a sweetheart.
He's very enthusiastic. He's a fan of the show, and he loved working with us, and you would just feel it, like it's infectious, that lovely type of joy that someone has working on a project, and I keep in touch with him a bit. He's a really nice guy. I really like him a lot.
Now to the Eagly Airmail bag. We do have a voice memo on the DC Discord from Cybernex 007.
What's up, 11th Street kids? This is Cybernex, coming at you from the DC Comics Discord. I love watching that emotionally devastating scene where John Cena really plays the piano as Peacemaker. Have you found any more great opportunities to use John Cena's talents, or highlight talents from the rest of the crew? Thank you all so much for doing this and making the future of the DCU so bright. Have a great one.
Well, I would say that all of their primary talents are acting, so we do utilize those talents every day on set. I think that Jen grew up a gymnast, and you see that in her fight choreography. And season 2, that is a huge spotlight, is Harcourt's fight choreography. So that's a big deal. Obviously we have John's piano.
We haven't gotten into my photography yet.
We don't have any uses for your...
It is the screensaver on Economist's computer.
Is that picture of you on the motorcycle?
Did you take that?
Yeah, we took it outside of the soundstage on someone's motorcycle.
That shot's so funny.
So funny.
If you ever notice on John Economos' laptop, he has a picture of himself sitting on a motorcycle trying to look cool with a leather jacket.
Wearing a leather jacket.
Completely alone.
Yeah.
And it's so sad.
But one thing...
That's season 1?
That's season 1.
It's my desktop photo. Yeah, it's the whole computer.
One thing is that Steve Agee is an incredible photographer. He's really, really incredible photographer. And he will take lots of behind-the-scenes stuff while we're filming. Sometimes he just pops into like James's other films and stuff like that and takes interesting photos of set, of the actors, whatever, and he posts them on Instagram. And
I tell so many of my friends who are actors, like, get a fucking camera. You are literally in the best environment on pre-lit sets.
Right.
Like, you will get great photos even if you're an average photographer. James has always been kind enough to let me do it. There have been productions. The Suicide Squad, they were a little bit like iffy, but
I pushed it through.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
We got to
Always,
do it.
yeah.
You're trustworthy, sort of. So
I haven't leaked anything.
Never. No, you've always been really good.
Terrified usually. I put it in a folder and forget about it until the premiere. All right, our last question is from @NewtonsSeal on X. Freakiest story from the set of season 1. Freakiest.
Define freaky.
I don't know. Craziest, weirdest, sketchiest, maybe?
I mean, the truth is, because we were so separated by COVID, there wasn't much freak happening on that set.
Yeah. There is. The first episode where we're all in Fennel Fields at the restaurant sitting at a table. It was the first time a lot of us had been in a restaurant. And it was no vaccines, and it was my birthday, and someone brought out a cake, and everyone in the room was about to start singing, and James is like, fuck, nobody's singing. He didn't want everyone expelling the air. Yeah. He's like, no one's singing. No one's singing.
Did I mention I'm a germaphobe?
I am too. I was like totally with you.
Yeah.
Don't sing.
What about the mental asylum that we shot
at? Maybe that.
That's supposed to be haunted.
Did you ever feel anything in that building? Did you ever?
No.
No?
No. You know why?
Why?
Not haunted.
Ghosts are bullshit. Chuck, do you believe in ghosts?
What's the? Is it the first or second law of of physics, energy is neither created nor destroyed, and we are walking batteries as human beings. And when we die, where does the energy go? So I feel there's a shift of energy. That's pure physics. The energy goes somewhere.
Yeah.
And I feel sometimes
But
that
it's not
ghost.
It's not a
Yeah, it's not
fucking
ghost.
ghost.
Depends on. It's not. It's not.
doesn't go into another.
It doesn't into another realm or whatever.
Magic thing.
But I feel that it could make weird shit that we define as poltergeists or whatever could be energy in a space.
Well,
contained in a
that
space
one of the
and
things
stuff
that
like
bothers me about ghosts.
Yeah.
The knocking on a door or some weird sounds at night, and people go, "Oh, person died here. They're unhappy. They can't make it to the other plane." That's obviously what's causing that. I'm like, what? How's that? How do you jump from the knocking in the wall, or even if you're seeing like a weird thing cross? Why is that a person who's dead?
As opposed to
could be an alien, could be a interdimensional being. It could be more likely a little burst of dust. It's
just that I know I'm capable of getting very frightening myself. I guess I'm open enough to where energy can go to not want to see anything that could freak me the hell out. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm a scaredy cat. Am I the only one in here that believes in anything supernatural?
No, I believe in God.
Okay, there you go. Yeah.
He's a ghost.
Yeah.
He's a ghost.
He's a really big
ghost. The holiest of ghosts.
That's true. I do believe in God. And then all of a sudden you're like, well, okay, Gunn.
That's why
you believe in the biggest ghost in the world.
Rolling my eyes over here. Judging people for what they believe.
I know. I'm judgmental.
I will say one freaky thing is if you fire even a prop gun for the first time is how loud it is. You can't convey that on video or film. Like they're handing out earplugs for. So now when I watch movies where people are shooting guns like in a house or in a car, I'm like, in real life, these people would be dropping their guns to cover their. It's so incredibly loud.
The hard thing is when you're shooting a gun over and over and over again, and sometimes the shells are flying out, and you can't blink. If you're trying to look cool and you're shooting a gun, you can't blink. It's loud as fuck, and there's actually shells flying out at you, and it's pretty difficult to
Alan
look
Rickman
cool
was
once you're going
notorious
through
for
that.
in
Die Hard.
Die Hard, he drove McTiernan go watch it. Every time he shoots, the coolest villain of all time.
I would take out those blinks with CGI, man. Okay, what does this have to do with anything?
Nothing. I don't even know.
Chuck, we're so happy you could join us.
Thank
we
you.
miss you so much.
Yeah.
I miss you guys too.
Yeah,
this was so much fun.
This was amazing.
And I'm so glad you could come back and do this with us.
And
great.
Thanks for the invite. I was like, absolutely, I can't wait. And I can't wait for the season 2. And I don't want to know anything about it. I want to see it as a fan, purely.
Great.
Well, that's it for this episode. Next time on the podcast, the lovely Danielle Brooks, a.k.a. Leota Adebayo, will be joining us. She's going to talk through Season 1, Episode 7, titled Stop Dragon, D-R-A-G-O-N, My Heart Around. You can stream every episode of Peacemaker Season 1 on HBO Max and catch new episodes of this podcast on Mondays and Thursdays. You can find us on HBO Max, the HBO Max YouTube channel, and wherever you get your podcasts. This has been a DC Studios Showcase presentation. Peace out.
This was an OBB sound production for HBO Max and DC Studios, hosted by James Gunn, with co-hosts Jennifer Holland and me, Steve Agee. Executive producers for DC Studios are Phil Soponides and Gary Barbosa. Executive producer for HBO Max is Becky Rowe. Executive producers for OBB are Michael D. Ratner, Scott Ratner, and Toby Lawless. Special thanks to, from DC, Mike Pilata and Victor Diaz. And from HBO Max Design, Tom Haskard, Martha Duarte Diaz, Ryan Cronin, Brett Krause, and John Northway. Producer, Toby Lawless. Producer for HBO Max is Aaron Kelly. Research producer, Jesse Holland. Associate producer, Tessa Bartholomew. Associate producer, Chris Stipp. Production manager, Kevin Lynn. Studio coordinator, Elijah Matias. Director of Photography, Heath Gresham. First Assistant Camera and Camera Operator, Chris Piper. Gaffer, Arthur Garcia. Key Grip, Jake Reeder. Sound Mixer, Josh Falcon. Sound Mixer, Darren Bowling. Post-Production Supervisor, Mariana Cristostomo. Lead Editor, Jesse Holland. Editor, Louis Sinibaldi. Assistant Editor, Mark Alcacid. Hair and Makeup Artist, Kendall Shannon. Director of Creative Development and Social Strategy, Lenore Castro. Senior Coordinator, Creative Development and Social Strategy, Sharif Bakari. Production Assistant, Antonio Cavallo.
I was so cold. My brain stopped working. My mouth wasn't working. Like, I felt like my lips had actually frozen and I couldn't feel them anymore, you know? And I'm a little vain, so I didn't wear the under
thermals
that they gave to me because I was wearing these tight pants and they would have had to give me a larger pair of pants to fit over top of the thermals, and I'm like, I'm gonna look fat, and the lake
looking
was
hot
frozen.
worth your blackened toes? Your blackened, frostbitten toes.
I don't know. Why don't you tell us? Write in to the Peacemaker Instagram page and let us know if it was worth it for me to freeze my ass off